I will go crazy. I will lose my mind and I won't be able to look at my wife's face. I don't know what happened to God. I don't know if I will be able to live normally or not. My life is ruined forever. My brain is unable to think. Every time I think about what happened, I feel like I'm dying 1,000 times. I never imagined that this could happen in my life. This boring routine. If I had read about what happened in a newspaper or news on any social media site, I wouldn't have believed that it was real. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This is Olivert James, and this is the Narrator's Program. A new episode is full of real, dangerous, and important events. We must listen to it because despite the fact that there are some events that are fake, this story must be told and must be heard because it happened very close to it. A certain type of people must pay attention to such things because their tragedy is a tragedy. This story is for adults only because of some things that children cannot hear. But adults who hear it must inform children in their own way how to protect themselves from such things. Because this is not easy at all. It is strange and has never been told before. Maybe if it was told, it would not be told in this way. This story was written and prepared by Olivert James. This story has been with us for a long time and there was no time to record it. But this time it was lucky that it was recorded and heard today. Let's see the events. Let's go. I am Ibrahim, a citizen of an Arab country. Like all Arab countries, the Arab Spring revolutions took place in 2011. But unfortunately, my share of the country was large. Many problems occurred and my security was broken. The quiet security life that you do not fear your children or yourself in it became a dream for all people. There was no safe place, so I decided to take my family and travel. I was in a hurry and I was trying to move before the situation got worse. Thank God, my family and I ran away at that time. After that, the situation in the country became much worse and life became impossible. I am the only father and mother married to my cousin. Most of my relatives also traveled from the country. Some of them went to Arab countries and many went to European countries. Before the war and the destruction that took place in the country, I was working as a doctor at the university. All my conditions were stable and I had a large house for my family. My father and mother were living in it and everything was fine. I have 3 children in different stages of education. My wife is a nice and beautiful woman. She loves my family and they never complained about her, nor did she complain about them. Our life was beautiful and stable, but I had no choice but to leave all my life in my country and take my family and flee like millions of others. My field of expertise and years of experience assured me that I would find a good job opportunity in any country. My friends tried to convince me to emigrate to any European country, especially that the European countries had opened their doors to immigrants from my country and offered them any support they needed. But I was afraid for my children and I decided that it was better for me to choose one of the Arab countries. My brother and my wife had been traveling for many years before the war in one of the Gulf countries. He always told me how happy he was, that life was good and that his salary was well paid, and that most of the people were religious. That's why I encouraged him and asked him, and he did not delay in answering all my questions. Before we fled and left the country, he had prepared everything for us that could help us there. A small house and a temporary job for me until I found a job suitable for my qualifications and experience. Unfortunately, the job that my brother and my wife could provide for me was far from my specialty, and it was far less than my scientific level and experience over the past years. But it was not impossible. I had to agree and go down to work because I had to find a source of income, even if it was simple. And that's why I did not reach out to anyone and fulfilled the needs of my house, my children and my family. Life at first was not easy at all, and we took time to adapt to the new life and try to forget our past life with everything in it. We were upset about the big house where the sun comes in from everywhere. And we were upset about the war with all its friends, acquaintances and neighbors. And we were upset about our memories that no matter where we lived, it would not be easy for us to make up for them. When I was in my country, it was normal for families, especially those at the same social level, to have someone to help in the house with the wife. especially that the houses were big and had a large number of rooms, so you need constant care that the wife alone will not be able to take care of. And this help was essential, whether to do the housework of cleaning, arranging, and taking care of the house, or to take care of the children. My wife did not like anyone to interfere in the upbringing of the children. She always read about the best ways to deal with children, and how the father and mother developed their relationship with their children. And that's why the only thing that helped in the house was cleaning, washing the dishes, tidying up the house, and the rest of the daily routine. And she had nothing to do with the children or their upbringing in any way. But of course, this was in the beginning. But of course, after the travel, the financial situation changed, and the house became smaller. And I did not have any means to get someone to help with the housework. My wife endured a lot of burdens, especially that my father and mother were with us, and of course my 3 children. And I was always working to be able to meet the basic needs of food, drink, treatment, and education. A few months after our arrival in the new country, my brother and wife told me that the new academic year was approaching. And there is a university that requires teachers from all specializations. She sent me the announcement link, and I started reading it, and I could not believe that they were asking for the same specialization. Indeed, I prepared a paper, submitted it, and got accepted. I was trying to understand that I was back to work in my field that I love, and that I was successful and distinguished in it. I started working, and the financial situation began to improve one by one. And I began to try to compensate my family for everything we lost in our country. The small apartment that was enough for me, my wife, my father, my mother, and my children became a large villa. It has a room for each one of us, a room for guests, and an extra room for the workers at home. I bought a car, and I provided my children with better schools. Until life got better, and that's why my wife and I decided to get someone to help at home and take on some of the responsibilities of the house with my wife. And of course, she will help in taking care of my father and mother. I knew that my wife was very tired during the last period, and I was upset that she was away from me, and her father's attention was reduced, and even herself. And I wasn't blaming her, on the contrary, I was sure that she was standing next to me and doing things that many women in her place would not have accepted. And it was enough that she didn't care about us, that she changed without warning, and adapted very quickly, and she never felt that the house was missing anything or that she wanted anything. The search for a helper who would come to work at our house began, and we had to be careful about this choice because she would be staying with us at home. And therefore, we had to make sure that she was good and trustworthy to ensure her existence, whether at home or with the children in general. And thank God, God blessed us with a very excellent daughter of our same gender, and she was a blessed sister. She was 20 years old, she got used to us very quickly, and she worked with us for a long time. She was loved by me and my wife and by my father and mother as well, and even by the young children. She became aware of our character and what each one of us likes and dislikes, and this, of course, was due to the fact that she was from the same country as us, so she understood our customs and traditions well. But unfortunately, after 5 years with us, one of her relatives proposed to her, and he took her and traveled to another country to marry him. It was a very difficult day for her team, especially for the children who were very attached to her, and frankly, we were all attached to her. The problem is that after she left us, we were not able to adapt to anyone who came after her. We were not able to understand anyone, and we were not able to get used to them. Also, those who come are not used to our customs and the normal way of life that we used to live in our country. This, of course, is different from the problems that used to happen. Sometimes things get stolen, sometimes the employee does not have experience in housework, the third time she is disturbed, and anything she holds will be broken. And of course, those who are lazy all the time, those who do not follow the instructions, those who take a lot of vacations, those who talk a lot on the phone at work. It was a very difficult trip for 3 years. We tried a lot of people, and they came and sat with us and worked for a short time, but for nothing. More than anyone, we advised her to go to the Office of Domestic Workers, which was very popular in the country we were in, because most houses and families in the country hire domestic workers, no matter how low the financial level is. This was the normal situation in the country. Me and my wife, frankly, we rejected the idea at first, and we felt that it was too heavy for us because we had never tried it before. But after all the times we failed to get someone to help us, there was no other solution in front of us. We decided to do as most people in the country do, and we went to the Office of Domestic Workers. This office is provided by people from different countries, including Africa and East Asia. My wife had many friends and relatives who advised her that the Filipino domestic workers are the best in the nature of this job, and that they are sincere and easy to deal with. Indeed, we agreed with the office that offered us photos, specifications, and skills of each of the workers, and the choice fell on two. The first was still in the Philippines, and if they settled there, they would bring her from there. The second was Mary. Mary was working at the time, but she had a very short period of time left to complete her contract, and she was supposed to either renew and continue with the same family, or not renew and then come to us. After 3 weeks, the office contacted us and told us that the procedures for hiring had been cancelled, and that Mary, who was in the same country, had become empty, and she was allowed to work and start working with us. I agreed with the office and went to do the contract with them and receive it from them. I told my wife, and she and I went to the office and we met Mary for the first time. Mary was a young woman in her early 20s. She was very beautiful, and it seemed to us that she was very nice. The surprise was when we found out that Mary spoke Arabic, and this is because she had been working in the country for several years, and of course she learned Arabic from her housemates. Sometimes I was very happy that she spoke Arabic, and this is because my father and mother will be able to communicate with her easily. We went home, and my wife took Mary to show her her room, and introduced her to the children and to my father and mother. My wife was also very happy and excited about the presence of Mary, to the extent that she spoke to all her relatives and friends to inform them of Mary's arrival. Everyone was blessing her that she finally took this step. They also assured her that she would be comfortable and less responsible, and that she would not face any problems from what used to happen in the past, because the Filipinos are very good at everything, including housework with children. I was honestly very happy that she was finally happy, and was sure that the presence of Mary would comfort us all. My wife insisted that Mary stay at home and in her first room, that is, to rest and get to know our family, and the next day to start work. Every day, my wife gave Mary a list of the things she had to do, from housework to the things that my father and mother needed. Honestly, Mary did not delay anything at all, nor did she do anything half and half. No, she was very clever, and that was very comfortable for my wife and made her stick to it. I don't need to tell you how Mary's presence at home made everything right. The house became more organized. My father and mother are happy and with them all the time, and my wife took care of them and took care of them. The children loved Mary quickly and got used to her and her food, and they understood her easily. The most important thing for me, honestly, is that my second wife came back very free, and she didn't have to take care of me. She also took care of herself, her clothes, and her appearance, and her mental state started to improve a lot. Actually, the last 3 years were harder than some, between the workers, each one of them coming and going, and solving their problems that do not end. My wife was clean. After a while, my wife became completely calm, silent most of the time. She didn't get mad at any of the children, nor did she get angry no matter what happened. It's normal for a man to feel calm, but for me it was the opposite. I was worried all the time and not reassured. My wife was much calmer than normal. She spent all her time alone, taking care of herself, and when she started to take care of herself again, her state changed. Instead of taking care of me and the children more, most of the time she was in her room holding a book she was reading, playing with her phone, combing her hair, all this in complete silence. She didn't speak or react in any way, and she didn't want to sit with us or speak like before. Even the lunch meal, which was the only meal we all gathered together, and which my wife took great care of, she ate with us as if it was forced, not saying a word to any of us. Everyone was surprised, and I didn't know what to do. Why are you doing this? Reem, are you okay? I'm okay. Why don't you want to sit with us? I'm sorry. Okay, I noticed that you don't sit with the children like before. What's wrong? The children are no longer young. I don't need to sit with them. What do you mean you don't need them? Do you want something else? She looked at her and didn't respond. She left me and went outside. I felt like I was talking to a robot, a machine that responds to words. I told myself that I might have upset her, or that she took a stand from me. She must have been upset. Why are you doing this? I thought a lot about what I did, but I didn't know. I asked the children, maybe they know what upset her, but none of them knew anything. Even my parents noticed that she had changed, and asked me what was wrong with her. Why did she become like this? But I didn't have any answer. But the presence of Mary compensated for any emptiness because of my strange wife. Mary had reassured me. I used to leave the kids with her and I knew she would take care of them. She was there all the time, she didn't go out or come back. I agreed with Reem to take her and travel for 2 days alone. She agreed, but she agreed and asked me what I was going to do for lunch. There was no excitement, no joy. I thought it would make her happy. I asked more than one of my friends and they told me that she might have felt bored of the routine of the house and the kids and that traveling was a good solution. But unfortunately, Reem's situation on the trip was exactly the same as her situation at home. Before and after we came back from the trip, there was no difference. I tried a lot, I tried to know what's wrong with her, to understand why she did that. But there was no point in knowing or understanding anything and the situation wasn't getting better. I got to the point where Reem didn't love me anymore. You know when you feel that your wife is treating you like a duty, not like a husband and a wife, like two partners in the house who don't have feelings for each other or even 10. Even the way she treats the kids is not her way. She doesn't say a nice word to the kids or even blame them when they make mistakes. She's away from me and them. The kids completely replaced Reem with Mary. Mary was kind to them and took care of them all the time. Not only the kids who felt Mary's love, but also my parents who stopped asking Reem about what happened to her. They found the love they needed and the care they wanted. I don't deny that I was happy with the care Mary gave me. I've always been a man full of love for my wife and I couldn't stand the ignorance I've been living in as if I committed a crime and I didn't know what it was. Things have become more difficult as time goes by. And Reem doesn't seem to believe that we all stop talking to her or asking her for anything. Even when we talk to her, we feel like she doesn't want to listen to us. She doesn't answer us or care what we say. Honestly, I doubted that she was depressed, and I started looking for symptoms of depression. But no, she doesn't have the symptoms that are written on the internet. She doesn't have any of these symptoms. I didn't give up. I went to a psychiatrist, and I described the situation to him. He confirmed that these are not symptoms of depression. But he couldn't identify the problem until he saw the situation itself. Of course, I tried to convince her to leave. But every time, she would look at me in amazement, and she wouldn't say a word. And every time I asked her to come with me, she would leave without saying anything. I talked to her brother, who is in the same country with us, and more than one of our relatives. And he confirmed to me that she is completely normal with them, and that they don't notice any change in her. To the extent that I asked her brother to come and see her at home, and to see how she is doing. He didn't tell me that she is doing fine on the phone, and when he came, he also noticed that she had changed. And when I asked her, she told him that she is fine and that there is nothing wrong with her, and that I am the one who likes to exaggerate things. After a few months of complete ignorance, we all got used to it. Reem's presence at home was like nothing. That's it, we all were disappointed that she treated us like before, especially after she took everything from our room, and went to the guest room where she stayed. I tried to understand from her why she did that, or what I did for her to make this decision, but for no reason. Everything she says, I am fasting and I don't want to bother you with me, or I can't sleep in the room, or that the room's weather is not good. Anything. There is nothing that makes sense. Unfortunately, at the moment, I am controlled by evil thoughts. I imagined that she might know someone about me, and that she might be talking to someone. But no, there is nothing. I searched her phone, her social media accounts. There is nothing strange. There are no conversations with any man. All of her calls are with her brothers and relatives. All of them are women. I know them and I am sure of their morals. To the extent that I opened all the conversations hoping to find any explanation for her situation. But there is nothing. She is not talking about something that is related to our lives. And this is her habit from a long time ago. The room that Reem moved into was a big room with a bathroom. And since she moved into it, she has not been coming out of it. I was with the kids for the second time. As I have been doing lately, I knew that their mother left them. That's why I was making up for my kids' absence. Suddenly, I heard Mary screaming, "Are you okay, ma'am?" I went in and found my wife lying in the bathroom. She was crying. I was afraid to move her. and I asked for help. Within minutes, the ambulance came and took Reem. Mary and I went with her to the hospital. That's when we found out that she had paralysis. It's a simple matter. A few stitches and she will be fine. We went home and I was trying to take care of her. Despite all that happened, I thought that this could be a good opportunity to improve my relationship with her. Maybe when I take care of her, she will come back to me like before. And of course, if she gets mad at me for any reason, she will scold me. My wife was jealous of me and she ignored me for no reason. Mary was with us all the time. She helped me and helped Reem and took care of her and her condition, to the point that she asked me for a specific type of oil for the massage to massage Reem's legs. Thank God, little by little Reem got better completely. But still, as far as she is at home but not with us. Any hope that Reem will come back to me like before or that my relationship with her will improve is gone. As they say, I threw her out, and I don't care anymore. She chose not to have a role in our lives, and I did everything I could to get her back, and it's no use. She is free. One day I found delivery workers at home. They were both wearing their jackets and they were putting something inside Reem's room. I didn't understand what they were doing. I asked Mary, what are they doing in the ladies' room? She replied, they are putting a massage bed for Mama Reem. A massage bed? I do an excellent massage, and I did Mama Reem, and he asked for a massage bed. Really? Can you do a massage for me? I take a certificate in massage and natural therapy. I was amazed. Mary is good at home and she is good with kids. And she is good with my parents. And she has a lot of experience in a lot of fields. And not only that, she spends on her family in her country and sends them gifts. And she sends anything she can with anyone who is traveling. She is a complete lady in everything. I don't deny that one day, I started to feel emotions towards her. Maybe these emotions were there from the beginning and I didn't notice. But I am sure that they are inside me. I started to follow her with my eyes from a distance. I didn't want to leave myself to these emotions, especially that I was really weak at that time. I felt that I was lost and I was sure that any move from me towards Mary means the end of my marriage to Reem. I was thinking about our life, our relationship and the bond between us and our children. There were a lot of things that I couldn't do and I didn't know how to deal with them. At that time, Mary was doing massage sessions for Reem, and I used to see her doing these massage sessions. And Reem was always thanking Mary for the great impact of these sessions on her. And that encouraged me to ask Reem, are the sessions that Mary does for you good? Very good. Do you feel comfortable with them? Yes. I think I should try. I tried. I felt that Reem was not against the idea. But honestly, I didn't have the courage to ask Mary. Or maybe I was afraid to ask her to encourage me or to refuse. Days passed and I worked on the students' tests and corrections. And I used to come back every day very tired and really exhausted. And I felt that I was short of children. I mean, it's not enough that their mother is not with them. I can't sit with them or share anything with them. I felt tired all the time. And everyone noticed that. And my children were making fun of me. And I was waiting for Reem to take care of her as she used to do before. But unfortunately, she didn't take care of her or do anything. And Mary was by my side all the time around me and trying to provide me with anything I need so that I don't move from my place and get more tired. I want to rest from the tiredness of the day. And one day, she was looking at me like any other woman who doesn't work with her man. And every day, I felt that my feelings for her were increasing, but I didn't dare to get closer to her. I was afraid, until one day, I found her coming with Reem to the bedroom. I was surprised because Reem hadn't been in the bedroom for months, so I asked her, "Is there anything, Reem?" "Mary told me that you're tired. I'm really a little tired. Can I give you a massage?" "Mary can give you a massage." I didn't know what to tell her, but I continued her words and said, "I have the massage bed in my room. I'll leave you and she can help you." I was surprised more than her. How come she didn't have any feelings for me? How come she didn't change or worry that I would be with Mary in the room alone? And I blamed myself. I blamed myself for my feelings for Mary. I don't know if my wife believed me and I had feelings for another woman, or if I didn't care about her at all. I went to the bedroom and for the first time Mary and I were locked in the same room. Mary knew what she was doing, and indeed, everything she was doing made me feel more comfortable and relaxed. Mary's sessions were repeated, and I couldn't control myself anymore. Reem came to her, and she left me for months, and my need as a man for a woman made me be honest with myself, and I admitted that I had to act according to my feelings for Mary. I had to take a stand. I decided from the bottom of my heart that it was a matter of time and I would propose to her and she would be my official wife. But before that happened, and without my knowledge, and in one of the massage sessions, I felt like I was getting closer to Mary. I really needed a woman at that time, and I was sure of my feelings. And I was sure of my intention to marry her. I got close to her like any man gets close to his wife. I wasn't thinking. My feelings, my needs, they were driving me and moving me. I held her and I started to forget any logic in my mind, and I forgot myself and I left the need inside me to move. But I missed, and thank God I missed. I missed when I was sure that Mary wasn't just a woman. Yes, Mary turned out to be a man. I was shocked, and I didn't know how to control myself. I left the room and I locked the door from the outside. I called the police and they arrested her immediately. Or him. The interrogation started, and we were in a very long queue. No one was giving us any details about what was happening or what had happened to him. And after about 10 days, we found a police force coming to our house and searching the whole house. All the rooms were turned upside down. All the cabinets, the stairs, even the garden. But the main focus was on Mary's room, or the man who made Mary himself. Unfortunately, they found things that I never imagined existed. Books containing sedatives, sorcery, and different kinds of incense and candles, and parts of skin and bones of dead animals, and even more than a job buried in the garden of the house. We didn't understand what was happening, and of course the house was in a state of chaos. And not only that, there was also fire in the house. No one was listening to anyone. No one was tolerating anyone at all. Everyone was standing alone, as if they were enemies. Even my children and I couldn't deal with it. Everyone was committed to their room, and we didn't even share meals with each other, and we hated each other. The police called me a week after the investigation, and they told me that Mary, or Benji, because that's his real name, had a family in the country for more than 10 years. And when he found out that he was doing sorcery and business to them, they kicked him out. And indeed, he left the country at that time. And when he traveled, he couldn't find a job in his country, and he was provided with the same income that he was getting here. And that's why he agreed with his sister to take her passport, and he decided to return to the country, assuming that he was ready to work. And most of all, Benji was doing sorcery to all the people in the house. That's what the investigator told me. I went there that day, and I turned the house upside down, until I found, in more than one place, a strange-looking colored paper. It was found in places that are impossible to imagine. Between the pillows in the pillows and the drawers in the drawers, it was stuck on the children's bed from below. And I swear to God, I don't know what things I didn't know how to reach or see. Or even the desserts we ate and drank while Mary or Benji was in the house. The paper was written on it, words I didn't understand. Letters, symbols, and also pictures of Reem, Leah, my father, my mother, and my children. And the pictures had a lot of marks. I understood then what happened to my wife, and I sat next to her. I don't know if I should apologize to her, or tell her the truth, or what. When Mary was arrested from our house, I told them she was arrested because her paper was incomplete. And even when the police searched, I didn't give them any explanation. And I started thinking about everything that happened in the past period. How did my father and mother suddenly completely ignore Reem and didn't ask about her, as if they didn't care about her? How did the children refuse their mother like that and didn't care about anyone but Mary? And how did I feel love for someone other than my wife? How did I neglect my wife like that and didn't try to help her in any way? My brain was exploding from thinking about all of this, and I felt like my blood was boiling when I thought that this man was with my wife in one room, seeing her without any formal clothes and reaching out his hand to her body. A terrible feeling, and every time I think about it, I feel like I want to go back. Just imagining the idea is harder than any man's possibility. And now I don't know what to do. What should I tell them? Should I tell them that the woman who was my wife, my mother, and my daughter is being exposed? Not a woman. The woman that I thought I would marry, and I have feelings for her, turned out to be a man. The only one that everyone was comfortable with and loved her turned out to be a prostitute. All the family members in the house are magicians and businessmen. I'm afraid of tomorrow, and I'm afraid that I won't be able to get rid of the evil that stayed for months. Months living in my house among my family. I've been around a lot of people who are addicted to the Quran, and unfortunately my wife didn't return to her nature. She didn't return to how she was. And even my mother, father, and children didn't return to how they were. And I feel like I'm running away from myself, and everything around me was increasing every day. I want to run away from myself. I want to erase all of this from my mind. I want to forget and move on from what happened. To remember it. Will I be able to? And that's it. I hope this story has reached you. I don't mean to send a specific message that a woman should be a man, or that a man should make himself a woman, but the idea itself is that there are strange people who are attracted to love, tenderness, and compassion, with the biggest consideration being the loss of these feelings towards people like parents and children. And these people start playing with the feelings and taking the family members in their ranks and so on, until what we hope from God doesn't happen. I found this story to be one of the most important stories, which may have a part that feels a little comical, but it's not comical at all. And all in all, it's not about a woman becoming a man, but really the last sentence to the Lord of the family is about a man who suddenly tells his family, his wife, his mother, and his daughter that they were having an affair with a man. And this man doesn't just do that, and that's not his main purpose because they didn't do anything, but all he wanted to do was to seduce the family members for a lot of reasons, and then leave them and go to another house and do the same thing. May God forgive us all from the scenes that you know, and may God have mercy on us because we are living in a world where there is nothing impossible. Everything happens. God willing, we are in the middle of the jungle and this doesn't happen in the jungle. May God have mercy on us. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and thank you for watching this far. If you liked the episode, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Click on the bell button to receive all new updates, and join the family of the Narrator Group on YouTube, and also follow us on X. All of this is available in the description box. You can easily reach him. And don't forget your prayers in Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, and all the places where Muslims and non-Muslims are weak. May God have mercy on them and have mercy on our martyrs. See you in the next episode. Good night.